Malhotra, and with me are Ekta Batra and Manglam Malu. Hey guys, good afternoon. Another day where we did see some weakness, at least when we started our trading session. There has been some recovery, but there are no follow-on gains, so to say, as far as the Nifty moves are concerned. So 25 points higher there. Mid-cap index, they continue to lag. Bank Nifty too in the red today, down 0.2%. So across sectoral movers, we have seen that realty index is down another 1% today. It's down 4% this week, 20% off this 52-week high as well. So there is a lot of pressure that we are seeing in some of these real estate stocks. But the expiry day today, so a lot of action is what we're expecting.
A lot of action is what we're expecting because it's the expiry day, but it serves the cause of all the option writers for the markets to just stay in a bit of a range, because when the markets are in a range, those who've sold options actually make the most amount of money. Now, I just have three letters to say: ITC. Just look at that stock, up 2.5%, 10 rupees higher, 394 rupees. I mean, who would have thought about 11 months ago, that after the stock did not move for virtually 8 to 9 years, that it would be the biggest gainer, not just in the previous calendar year, but this calendar year as well. Closing in on that 400 rupee mark, and that's actually the one which is supporting the Nifty as well, at a time when the Nifty bank is down 100 points, Ekta.
Absolutely, Manglam, that was a part of my chat today, that ITC is smoking hot. So you have ITC, which is up around 18.7% on a year-to-date basis, while the markets definitely have recovered from the intraday low of 17,455. So that possibly becomes a key support to watch out for on the downside. And we have the India VIX, which is down around 4% You do have ITC, which is really taking your breath away in terms of that individual move that we're seeing on specific stocks. Financials, do watch out for that, because yes, it is consolidating, but it is still consolidating with a negative bias. We have the Bank Nifty, which is lost out for multiple sessions, around 4 to 5 consecutive sessions that it's been in the red, and it slipped below that 40,000 mark yesterday and continues to trade below those levels in today's trading session. So yes, it's down around 0.3%, but it's still in the red, still underperforming, and below that 40,000 mark for the Bank Nifty. Important to note where the financials would go in the next couple of trading sessions. But let's talk about one specific stock, Wockhardt. It posted what was a weak set of Q3 FY23 numbers as the margins witnessed significant pressure. The stock is down over 40% in just the last 1 year, or from its 52-week high. To discuss a couple of key takeaways from their analyst meet, which they held after a very long time, we have with us Dr. Khorakiwala, who's the chairman of Wockhardt, who's joining in. Hi, sir. Thank you very much for taking the time out. Well, I was listening in to your analyst call, and one of the key questions which repeatedly came up was about your antibiotic, which is under development, WCK-5222. It has been used on a compassionate basis in 3 cases in India, and that too successfully. Currently, it is going through global phase 3 trials, or global trials at this point in time. Can you tell us when would we see formidable results? It's possibly coming into market, and by when?
Thank you very much, Ekta, for this question about WCK-5222. As you rightly said, that it has gone into phase 3 clinical trial and used for compassionate use. The importance of compassionate use, first I must highlight that it has proven in the most difficult cases where no other antibiotic works, 5222 has worked and saved 3 lives. Phase 3 clinical trial, we expect to get it over by within 15 to 18 months. And thereafter, we expect that by mid-2025, the product will get approved and it would be ready for global market. We expect that it would be first marketed in the US, followed by other countries like India, Europe, and China.
Okay. Based on the fact that it has seen some positive results, is there any possibility of monetizing it already? Are you seeing interest coming in from global companies on a possible licensing, or maybe even Indian companies on a possible licensing agreement?
Yeah, we will be looking at the option of licensing and monetizing, because we do not have presence in all the markets in the world. So accepting India and maybe US and few other markets, we would certainly like to license the product in other markets. We are also looking at an option to monetize with a global pharma company who has a global presence. And maybe we would retain India operation and market for the rest of the world.
Okay. Okay. Dr. Khorakiwala, can you tell us how big is an opportunity in this antibiotic drug that you're talking about? And you're talking about exports here as well. After you get the approvals in place, how big is this market?
I think we had done a Grant Thomson study about 2-3 years back, and they projected a value proposition of $1.5 billion for WCK-5222. Since then, CDC in US have taken out a report sometime few months back, which highlighted that these resistance have significantly increased because of COVID. And it has gone up by 30 to 80%. So we believe that what they had projected a few years back is very much valid. In fact, it would be much better.
Right. Mr. Khorakiwala, just wanted to understand what's the kind of investment that is required for this further investment and how are you planning to fund it? Because there is word that you are also looking to fund this by selling some of the non-core assets. Could you give us a sense what these assets are and the kind of investment that is required?
I think to complete phase 3 clinical trial, we'll need another $30 million to complete it because we have already spent significant amount of investment in earlier clinical trials of phase 1, preclinical, and various safety trials. And we intend to monetize some of the non-performing assets we are having in the company at various levels to fund it. And partly we are also looking at the option where one can receive some early monetization of the molecule itself with some of the potential partners.
What these assets are, you said you're looking to monetize some of the non-core assets. I mean, just broadly, if you could tell us.
These are physical assets, basically, not the business part of it. Okay, we have manufacturing facilities in Lalru, Punjab, which we are not utilizing. Some of such assets are there, some lands are there in the company. So we planning to monetize some of those.
Okay. Would you look to monetize any kind of brands within your India business further, actually, because you've already sold a couple of brands to Dr. Reddy's in the past?
Yeah, we sold a part of our business to Dr. Reddy 3 years back. We are not planning at this point in time to monetize any of those business part of the asset.
Okay.
Oh. Okay, so you have a licensing deal with one of your molecules in China as well. Have you received the milestone payments? How much of it is received and how much is left?
I think we had some milestone payment of some 30 million, and I think we have received about more than 1/3 of that payment so far. And the balance will be coming, basically, as the progress of the research work takes place.
What is the peak sales that we can expect from the serum tie-up that you have for vaccines? You have indicated that they have approved 2 vaccines. When can it come to market? And what is the potential peak sales of this tie-up?
We expect these vaccines to be marketed within 12 months or so, initiate production, after approval of facilities and biobatches and other requirements. And it is an agreement for 150 million doses. Serum will gradually ramp up the production. They have not given us the indication, but we believe in the peak production would be there of 150 million doses with their next 3 to 5 years.
Okay, in the next 3 to 5 years. Just a quick last question.
And the revenue is a two form of revenue will be there and profitability. One is a manufacturing related and second would be profit sharing 51/49 of whatever they will sell.
Okay, so you have a profit share in addition to the manufacturing revenue. That's interesting to know. Dr. Khorakiwala, this is a point of discussion which we've had since 2013. I know you're doing only third-party manufacturing and selling in the US markets now, but I just wanted to get a sense in terms of where the compliance status stands for a lot of your plants. Have you stopped remediating for the US completely? And can you give us an update in terms of the regulatory compliance status by other regulators ex of the US?
I must mention to you at the very outset, all our facilities in full compliance with all other regulators, including EMEA, that is European and UK regulators, all our facilities. As far as the US issue is concerned, we are not manufacturing any product in the company. MGP were manufacturing some products, so we have discontinued it. And we are revisiting the whole compliance as far as the pharmaceutical is concerned. And we will take an appropriate call in terms of historical part of the compliance. But as far as the current business is concerned, it is dealing with the compliance of the US FDA. And we don't expect in the next couple of years, we would have an issue arising out of supplies from our own facility in pharmaceutical.
Right. Dr. Khorakiwala, just one bit on WCK-522 itself. How long will it be patented for, or exclusivity were this to actually, go to the markets? Would you have any sense on this?
Yeah, we could tell you that as far as the patent protection is available to us in the Western market, that is US and Europe, where major revenue and profitability will be there, is up to 2037. So we have a fairly long period of more than 12 years available, 12 to 14 years available after the product gets approved.
And this would be what, 60, 70% gross margins?
Gross margin is much more than 60-70% in drug discovery space.
All right, Dr. Khorakiwala, thank you very much for joining in and talking to us. Well, the world is your oyster if you get that one drug out, which could be patented and which could be for the regulated markets. And not to mention that, it could be an antibiotic which could solve a lot of drug-resistant bacteria in the world, which is one of the big problems that we're facing. But nonetheless, that's on Wockhardt, stock up around 0.3%. Interesting to note that WCK-522 has been used 3 times on a compassionate basis. Well, we need to take a short break. On the other side, we'll put the focus on the big story of the day, Zee Entertainment, which is under pressure after NCLT admits the insolvency.